More updates on that through the day as well. But for now, let's talk about how all of the global cues that we have on hand really impact our own markets as well as the individual stocks that we should watch in today's trading session. So our research team is here. Vivek, Hormaz, Nigel all join me now. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. Vivek, let me come to you first. We were just going through the global setup and largely once again looks very supportive for our own markets.
Well, absolutely right. So, going into all of these big events, the markets has clearly decided to stay positive. And, most of the markets are actually near record highs. Like you mentioned, US markets ended on a record close yesterday. Nasdaq doing the bulk of the heavy lifting, up over 1%. Now, yesterday, what actually happened was that oil prices also cooled off from 2-month highs. So, Brent futures, yesterday were low by a little over 1% and now trading closer to the $82.4 a barrel mark. But let's talk about the Indian markets. Indian markets clearly led by superstar Reliance Industries. Yesterday, the biggest Nifty heavyweight, making the bulk of the up move, and along with that, tracking the Nifty higher. What actually moved higher yesterday? It was the entire oil and gas pack. Stronger refining margins across the sector aiding the rally over there yesterday. Along with that, the entire PSU stocks as well. Utilities, name it as utilities, oil and gas, even banks, all of the PSU stocks went higher yesterday. And the infra pack also moved ahead, just before the budget. So it'll be interesting to see whether this particular up move can be sustained even in today's trading session. But a lot of key events today. So number one, we'll have to look at the earnings. So big earnings, capital goods major L&T will declare its results today. Dr. Reddy, SRF, M&M Fin, some of the other stocks in the FNO segment that will, go ahead and report their results today. Primary market activity too quite strong. Remember, BLS e-services IPO, opens today, and we have one listing. So EPAC Durable list today. Remember, the issue was oversubscribed over 16 times. It'll be interesting to see the kind of debut that particular company makes on the exchanges.
All right, Vivek, thanks a lot for setting us up for the trading session. Let's also get Hormaz in. He's looking at all of the stocks that we should track. Hormaz, once again, of course, a lot of big earnings coming through after market close.
Plenty of reactions that we'll have to watch out for today, and start off with ITC, and we'll talk about all of these in greater detail as the show goes by. But the core point for ITC is that the cigarette volumes growth ranged between 0% to -2% as compared to the street estimates that were 0% to a 2% growth. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Bajaj Finance, the numbers were a beat on estimates, but the asset quality saw a slight deterioration on a sequential basis, so we'll keep an eye out on that as well. Vodafone Idea is the one to watch out for because the net loss, although it narrowed sequentially, but it was a loss of over 6,500 crores nonetheless. The net debt payable by the 31st of December, as per what the company said, is close to 5,400 crore rupees, and yet there is no clarity on the promoter infusion of 2,000 crore rupees that was promised to be completed in the December quarter last year and is still not being completed yet. Piramal Enterprises reported a net loss, but that was because of the AIF provisions that they had to make. They had informed about this earlier as well, but the asset quality saw improvement on a sequential basis. Some more earnings reactions today will be NTPC, Marico, Venus Pipes, Mahindra Logistics, Petronet LNG saw some good numbers, so we'll react to that as well. Karsana Diagnostics has won an order from the government of Maharashtra where they'll be providing MRI and CT scan services in hospitals across 17 districts of the state which are under the authority. KEC International has won orders worth 1,300 crore rupees. Nugent Software has also won an order for 97 crore rupees, and Orchid Pharma has won approval from the European Medicinal Agency for a drug used in the treatment of a urinary tract infection. Back to you.
Okay, Hormaz, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those stocks. We're going to watch for all of these in today's trading session. Finally, it's over to Nigel, who's looking at cues from the futures and options space. Hi, Nigel.
Hi, morning, Pavitra. A very, very good trading session is what we had yesterday. And the flows, if you're looking at it, well, you say there was no big buying. But the FIs didn't sell. I think the bulls took it in their stride. And the other factor that played out, there was clearly a short covering bounce that played out on the Nifty bank itself. And that's the one that had come in for a harder knock. So if you pull up, the chart out there, yes, you'll see that on the Nifty, there was some mild open interest build up. But on the Nifty bank, clearly, the index went flying up and you had open interest lower, telling you there was short covering that played out. What about the FIs? What did they do? Well, that data point as well perfectly tallies in with this short covering. Because yesterday there was a swing of close to around 10,000 contracts. Why do I say that? Shorts got covered out by around 5,000 contracts and long addition was 5,000 contracts. So the swing factor out there is close to around 10,000 contracts. And yet they continue to remain net short with close to around 100,000 contracts on the short side. But at the start of trade, it was around 109,000 odd. So there was some short covering that played out, though they continue to remain heavily on the net short side. In an uptrending market, you want to see some put writing, and that's precisely what we saw. 21,500, 21,600, 21,700 put. All of them did see a fair bit of open interest build up, which took the PCR to around 1.2 from closer to around 1 in the previous trading session. So let's get to the levels then. The good news yesterday was the Nifty went ahead and we conquered the 20 DMA. So that becomes the near-term, support level. The crucial support will be at around 21,400 to around 21,500. Highest open interest on the put side is 21,500 puts. So that's why I say that level is very, very important. While resistance on the upside will be around the 21,950 to around 22,000 odd mark. The Nifty bank that came to the party yesterday, in the near term, it conquered crucial crucial resistance zones yesterday, which now become support. That's the 100 EMA as well as the 200 EMA. Important that the Nifty bank continues to trade about those levels. For today, the second half of trade, the Nifty Financial Services Index will play out the weekly expiry, so that could do a bit of a swing factor. Let's see how this goes. Yesterday's session was very, very good, but the bulls will be looking for an encore. Back to you.
All right, we're all going to wait by and see if that does come through. Nigel, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. We are going to get into a short break.